What's up, guys? It's your girl Alexis, and I have a furry friend who is excited to meet y'all. Fofo! So I actually got 4 before we even continued the video. I actually got 4 from my best friend Amber. So shout out to Amber. That's my best friend, y'all. And basically, yeah, she gave him to me, and he's the sweetest little thing, but he's super wild. So why are we here? So basically, I know you guys have been wondering, like, what happened to the military? Why are you working for media again? Like, what is going on? What was going on during those 2 years of your life? So with no further ado, here we go. So we're just gonna jump into it. So basically, I left the military basically because it was becoming a lot for me. I did deploy. I served for 2 years as an air traffic controller. And honestly, I do want to say shout out to everyone who was on my journey through the military. Hold on, y'all. I do want to shout out everyone who was on my journey during those 2 years, because just seeing, how the military actually is versus being, like a civilian on the outside, it's a different world. I will say that it's a different world, man, and you have to be built for it. And unfortunately, I was not built for that. But yeah, I met so many wonderful people. And honestly, one thing I do miss about the military is that it was like a family. So if you are looking to join, if you've already joined and you're just kind of being on my journey, one thing about it, you will create a family when you are in the military. So why wasn't I built for it? Ultimately, it was a lot, man. Let's just take it back. So my first time I actually realized I wasn't made for it was when I went to Pensacola. I was in A school, and A school was really fun. Honestly, I enjoyed A school. And that's actually where I met, one of my closest friends, Watson. Shout out to Watson if you're watching. But we ended up having a shooting, and it's weird how things work. You think that you're okay after it happened. So basically, if you don't know about it, it was the Pensacola shooting, and it just took a grim side. You saw the grim side of the military. We lost people that day. Flag was at half staff, and it was a sad time, to realize that there were so many young people who weren't even able to fight for their country literally yet. Like, they were just learning their jobs, and the fact that, so many lives were taken, and it was like, you just realize life moved without them, and I thought I was okay until I went on deployment. And, again, I'm glad I served, but one, I didn't realize how claustrophobic I was. I already knew I kind of was, but I didn't realize it until you're sleeping in those little racks. And, being away from family, and, the tiring hours, I'm not even gonna scare people who are married to military people, but just the things you see, and even the things that you do, because you're honestly gonna go into the mode of survival. You don't even realize, or for some people, you don't even realize that, like me, I didn't even realize I was depressed until we had a corona scare and we got put on lockdown. Mind you, I was on a deployment with no ports. So it was a lot. It was a lot. And, just everything, man, just from the lockdowns to no ports. And when you're at sea, all I'm going to say is, man, you are left with your thoughts. And yeah, a lot of, personal things I thought about. And ultimately, I also thought about, like, I feel like I was really a failure. Because if you follow me on my journey, I love media. I love artists. Shout out to all the Memphis artists out there, especially the underground, man. But I love music. I love entertainment. I love reporting. I love journalism. I love, being the voice for brown people in general. So the fact that I was not doing a job that I felt and I feel and I know that God created me to do, it made me feel like crap. It really did. Also, I did not like how people were talking to me all the time. I was a late starter in the military. I joined when I was 21 versus people who joined when they're like 17, 18. And I just, man, you would have somebody who's 24, same age as you, and I'm gonna put him down again. But you'd have someone who's your age and they're demeaning you because of a rank. And I was just like, in the real world, that's not how that works. Like, talk to me like a human being. Because while you're, sergeant major, I'm not. And I'm trying to learn how to be a better person, be a better sailor. And if you're talking down on me, and it was crazy, man. Like, and when I mean talking down, I mean, they're ruthless. And I know some people are like, it's the military, da da da. I think it's a dumb excuse. And what are excuses? Because the fact that, I'm going on a rant, but that's why we're here. But the fact that, you're talked down to so much, and especially if you're on a deployment being talked down to, you already not seeing your people, where you're eating crap food. And let's get into it, because the government literally gives you the worst food. It's worse than jail food. And, you're dealing with moldy food that, already on the deployment, people demeaning you, people talking down, and things get cutthroat on deployment. That's one thing about it. And I couldn't handle it. It just felt like everything was whirling. And then it just, we had deaths on my ship, and it just seemed like nobody ever cared. Like the sailors did, like we did, but it was like the higher ups did not. And it just seemed like, ultimately the government's gonna move on, man. They're gonna use you. And that's why people always say, use the military, don't let it use you. And it's true. It really is. I know some of y'all probably been following up with the death on, I don't want to say the ship's name because I really don't want to be wrong on the ship's name. But I do know there was a suicide that just happened on one of the ships. I want to say, was it G-Dub? Somebody correct me in the comments. But with the young black guy. And you know what I mean? And that's not almost everyday thing in the military is a suicide. And people wonder why it happens, and it's because people are depressed. When I was in, thankfully, and shout out to, the people at my command, my fellow ACs, or former ACs. But, when they realized I was, really hurting mentally, and, it showed. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I became a mute. I didn't want no dealings. And ultimately, they helped me out. I will say that, my command was really good on mental health. When I say command, my divisional command, but I'm so C. But yeah, like they really helped me with mental health. But I get DMs all the time and messages that are always saying like, why, why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? How do I get help? How do I do this? How do I? And it honestly just started with me being able to go to therapy. I started out with the psych boss, and she realized like really quickly like, this is not for you, because I was crying. I literally was crying. I felt like a failure, and I had really bad anxiety because we were going on deployment soon. I can't even say the date because I know, but you know what I mean? Like we were going on deployment every single day, even though we were dry docked, I kept thinking of deployment, and it was just bad, I kept thinking about what if somebody, comes through the gate with a gun and does another mass shooting, you know what I mean? And it just, I couldn't do it. I didn't feel secure even on a military base. And, then they recommended me for multiple therapies, and I started going, but I started going to multiple therapies, and, the therapy sessions did help. I realized a lot of things were, because my parents were, military. So I realized that a lot of personal things were coinciding and connecting with the outside things and forces that were already stressing me. So everything was just connecting, and it meshed together. And I just realized one day, I was like, I can't do this. Like the group therapies weren't like, they were helping, but they weren't helping, you know what I mean? Like I didn't feel like I felt like progress, but not enough. And yeah, ultimately I got 3 recommendations, oh my gosh, I got 3 recommendations, and they helped me out, and get out. And that's a really rare thing in the military, is for an early out, especially with medical. So I was given honorary dischargement, and I'm just a huge advocate now for military mental health, because a lot of commands do not care, and a lot of new people. I just want this to be a warning to you that, make sure you have a good support system no matter what, because deployments are hard. They really are. Being away from family, being talked down to, all those different things. And now there are a lot of good sides to the military. Like I said, you make family. And the people who are my family are still my family today, even though we may not talk every day or see each other every single day. But you do make a family. And there are really fun times, you know, like we crossed the equator and I became a shellback. Like there were so many fun things that we did do, but there was also a lot of, for me personally, mental things that were not, it just was not good for me. I was in a very dark place. So now I am working for Fox as an associate producer. Hopefully we'll become a producer. But I do also plan on going back to reporting as well. So you guys are gonna see some back music stuff back on my channel. You guys are gonna be seeing my website coming back soon. My blog is coming back soon. And I just wanna highlight music again. I wanna highlight, you know, us, literally, Black folk, Mexican folk, you know, like everyone, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, brown. Because if you don't know, you know now, I'm Afro-Latina, and I just want to be an advocate for those people, especially with Title 42 ending soon and all the controversy on immigration. You know, my granddad was a migrant, you know what I mean? So I feel very strong on human rights and civil rights and just all those things. So I hope this was a quick update for you guys. I try to cut my video really short because I know we be going super long. I know y'all probably like, that dog bad. He's bad, y'all. But you guys gonna meet my baby in his little COVID jersey. But yeah, y'all. Hope to see you guys still on the channel. If you are new to here, make sure to subscribe because you will be seeing more of me. Adios.